Hi, my name is Sarah, and for my term paper, I have decided to look at environmental law and sustainable development. To look at these two more closely, I have decided to focus on Costa Rica. Costa Rica has been deemed a development success story by the World Bank for its inclusion, growth, and sustainability in its way of development. I have chosen to focus on Costa Rica for a variety of different reasons. First of all, I have had the opportunity to visit the country twice on humanitarian trips. We were able to experience the country from East Coast to West Coast. All the pictures in my presentation were taken while I was in Costa Rica. Costa Rica is unique because it has no standing military and has had no standing military since 1949. Education is mandatory, and Costa Rica is different from the rest of Latin America and Central America. Costa Rica is referred to as the golden country in Central America due to lower corruption rates than any of the other countries. The people are often happier there, and we can draw conclusions from the no standing military, access to education, and a government focus on social welfare. There's also a high level of importance put on the protection of the environment, with a quarter of the country being protected by national parks and reserves, as well as policies and laws put on deforestation. There's a high importance on sustainable development in Costa Rica as well. Costa Rica ranks 63 on the Human Development Index, which is higher than any other Central American country. Interesting enough, life expectancy in Costa Rica is higher than in the United States by half a year. In Costa Rica, it is 80 years, and in the United States, it is 79.5. To further my research, I have decided to look at how environmental law and sustainable development have worked together to make Costa Rica the success story. At first, I had planned to write about the human rights-based approach to development, but after class 11 on sustainable development and environmental rule of law, I've changed my mind. More specifically, after the question was posed about how Costa Rica has been able to develop using environmental rule of law and sustainable development, but yet the rest of the world hasn't quite mastered this. How can we change our behavior to value environmental rule of law? Costa Rica has had the political aspect as well as the economic aspect in implementing environmental laws and policies, such as deforestation policies, where you have to pay to cut down a tree, and ecotourism, which helps pay for the national parks and reserves. The definition of sustainable development can also be seen in the way Costa Rica develops as well. Sustainable development is where development meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their own needs. And I believe that Costa Rica has done this successfully. With a government that stands behind the environment, Costa Rica has been able to develop in a sustainable way. From my research, I have found out a variety of information. First of all, that the protection of the environment actually has a positive impact on development and has reduced poverty in the areas close to national parks. Ecotourism is the biggest source of foreign capital in Costa Rica, and the country has decided to play to its strengths by showcasing the environment and using tourism as a way to make money. Costa Rica has taken a focused approach to development, and it has come to the natural conclusion that the environment needs to be involved with development, and that development is not an equal thing. Development affects people differently, and they have decided to focus development on the poor. With that being said, the goal of my paper is to show how environmental law has had a positive impact on sustainable development, and how we can learn from Costa Rica to implement new policies around sustainable development. Thank you for listening, and I appreciate any feedback.